Okay, so for some fucking reason, I'm trapped in a cargo container now, and I'm joined by
ThunderPsyker. He kept me on his back while crawling into here, the fucking moron.
CancerRat.
Oh no.
I like to be known as Precious Venus, but in all actuality, my name is Jello Caesar. My friends call me J for short.
Okay then, so we have Jello, Cancer, Thunder, and me. And since we're trapped in this fucking cargo container and we have nothing better to do, we're gonna talk about video games.
It's a great idea. I love it. 10 out of 10.
Do you even play video games?
How did we get here?
I find it's best not to question this sort of thing, and once you're in the container and all of the light within it is gone, it is best just to look at the little recording red dot and pray.
I mean, fuck, that's a good red dot.
It is
That is a good red dot.
That is a really good red dot.
I'm afraid I can't let you do that, Thunder.
Why?
I'm afraid I can't let you. It's only me, it's only Jay. How's it going, my man?
Oh, hey! Oh, sorry, I thought it was talking to me for a moment. I thought...
Yeah,
I
that'll
thought,
happen.
I thought I'd lost all hope. So,
You
like,
mean
what-
you haven't already?
No, what's your deity of choice when it comes to praying, or do you just go with anything abstract?
I find screaming incredibly loudly in a shrill tone to the great horned rat is my preferred, like, method of worship.
Anything's better than fucking malice, so...
Yeah.
Who the fuck would worship Malal? I need some faggot or something. I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the tone that this thing is going to take.
So, to kick us off on our terrible quest of talking about dumb shit, I would like to open the floor with a pretty big one. Check it out.
That is big.
I think we're going to have a AAA die within the next decade.
When you say a AAA, are you talking about a single company?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or possibly
Within the AAA
multiples, but
space.
I think definitely a single AAA games company is gonna like go belly up in the next 5 to 10 years.
Okay.
Probably Gearbox, I think. If Borderlands doesn't live up, the new Borderlands they're doing doesn't live up to expectations, I think they'll probably like bite the bullet.
But it's not like that thing with like sequels, is that curse where the third one always turns out to be the shittest. Like the second one is like the really awesome comeback usually, and then
I mean, it depends. Like, I'd say... I don't think there's any particular rule of thumb when it comes to games, because, I mean, this is maybe my terrible taste, but I tend to find that a lot of the games I like have really good third games, like Halo 3, Spyro 3, Crash 3...
Jordan 3.
Okay.
Okay, we are not far in, and this is already where it's going.
I've crawled into the wrong fucking container here.
Yeah.
You didn't crawl anywhere, you were on my back.
Yeah, you didn't get any choice into where the container was, and who you were going to be sharing it with.
Cancer, can you stop chewing my finger, please?
Look, okay, stop dipping it in cheese, and I will stop
I'm not
chewing
dipping it in cheese.
Okay.
That's urine.
I don't want any anymore.
Okay.
Don't you want my fondue?
I think I'm good.
Thunder, take my fondue.
I'm going to take
It's homemade.
I'm going to take a shit all over your dreams.
How are you?
I feel like that might actually improve them for you.
Yeah, I might actually.
Yeah, maybe not.
Wet, sticky dreams.
Oh boy, Ray.
Why Gearbox in particular?
They haven't done very well with their recent releases.
What's the last thing they released?
I think it was the pre-sequel.
No, it was Battleborn.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
wow, yeah.
God,
Wow, shit.
we all forgot about it.
Yeah, that's how fucked they are. That's how fucked they are. Nobody remembers the last thing they released.
That's not good.
Am I the only one who, for a moment, like blanked and thought that it might have been released by Bosky? Because they also...
no, yeah.
No. Of course it's Gearbox, because the Randy Pitchford thing. Randy Pitchford going around being like, "Hey, buy my game," and look at, like, resorting to sharing the Battleborn porn Reddit.
Well,
Yep.
Well, one of the things I remember when they were like going through the development of Battleborn, so they had a character called Montana, and the origins of Montana actually started with Brothers in Arms.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was supposed to be like this big burly lumberjack who
From
carried
that
like
weird like co-op one.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's. I don't think it was called Highway to Hell, but I remember this one.
Highway
in,
to
like,
Hell was the good one. It
Yeah,
was
no-
like Fearsome Foursome or some shit.
Yeah, no, this
Which
this
sounds like a
one.
really violent pornography.
Yeah, this one. awesome. But like no, this was in official Xbox magazine back when I was subscribed to that, and I remember them previewing it, and I was like, what the fuck happened to that? And so Montana, but for one, I didn't know Gearbox had any involvement in it, or if like I don't know if like a character designer went from one company to the other.
No, it was Gearbox. It was always Gearbox.
Yeah, it was a Gearbox project because I think Gearbox used to own the Brothers in Arms IP. I don't know if they still do, but
They
yeah.
do. They just haven't done jack shit with it.
Sorry, I have a correction to make. The most recent thing that they published was We Happy Few.
No.
Yeah. They got that and they became the publisher for it.
But that
and then
did
before
really
that,
poorly as well.
It did.
Yeah.
And before that, there was the Bulletstorm Full Clip Edition. Yeah. No, and before that, it was the Duke Nukem 3D 20th Anniversary World Tour.
Oh, I mean, they could live off that teat for the rest of their existence if they wanted
I don't think
to.
they can at this point.
It's time to bomb sales and chew bubblegum.
Oh my god.
And I'm all out of games.
So, supposedly, this is Wikipedia, so take this what you will. On their TBA is...
How do you have Wikipedia?
I'm Magic.
Oh, okay.
We've been here a while, and so we understand how this sort of works.
Wait, how long have I been here for?
I can't remember.
No, neither.
I think after the natural light stopped,
After the suns died.
yeah, I think we bumped into each other literally whilst kind of crawling around on the floor. It is a little further away from the pile.
See, what I hate is that like my really luxurious toga is now covered in fecal matter.
Yeah, but
And jelly.
why do you think I've been chewing on your urine-soaked hands for the past few months?
But anyway,
My hands!
So yeah, no, we have access to various things that these two don't because they are new here. Yeah, apparently there is a to be announced Brothers in Arms game and Duke Nukem game, supposedly. But again, and obviously Borderlands. But yeah, I mean,
If Borderlands morphs, and it probably will, I don't think they could live up to... Like, Borderlands 2 felt a lot stretched out. Like, it was a good game, but it felt like it was a lot of spread across a lot of surface, whereas Borderlands 1 felt like a more refined, smaller experience.
I also sort of remember people describing how Borderlands 2 kind of felt more like Borderlands 1.9.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Memes, bro!
Like, I kind of have a weird history of Borderlands because I remember that I got 1 and 2 on Steam. I remember trying to play the first one with you and I really didn't enjoy it.
Oh,
So-
yeah, because you were playing with me and a few other people, and we were, like, massively power leveling you, and you were like, this is not fun, because we were, like, level 20, and you were, like, level 1.
Yeah, but like I think back then I had kind of I was doing a phase when it came. Well, I wouldn't call it a phase. This was most of my time whenever I would play a shooter. I used to be one of these people who would forget he had grenades in it first person shooters. Like all I want to do is shoot gun, and that would be my solution to every problem. Like Halo, Counter-Strike, Half-Life, whatever. I don't forget about my tools. Shoot gun. That would always be my
Fire
solution.
the
gun.
So
Keep firing, and they'll eventually die.
like, I think the plainest class you could play in Borderlands 1 was Roland, and even then I keep forgetting I had a fucking turret I could deploy, and I was shit.
Oh, yeah.
With Borderlands 2, when I heard that there was a class called the Gunzerker, whose ability is more gun, I thought, this might be the game for me. This might get me back on track. Maybe I'll fucking adore this. And I played 12 hours of Borderlands with, like, I don't know if it was with you again, but I know I played it with, like, Erndil and a few others that I'd known from the Alpha Legion days. And still did not hook me, and I cannot get along with Borderlands at all.
Fair enough.
I can't actually remember what the classes were in Borderlands 2, but they weren't
They were
far off.
They were Swordman, who replaced Bird Guy. There was another turret guy who had better turret.
Oh, yeah.
His turret was better.
There was another psychic girl, and then there was Short Man with 2 gun.
Oh, and
Like
there was
Dorf.
also Lollygoth GF Robogirl.
Oh yeah, she
We
was.
had it after
Oh, I
DLC.
loved her. Oh,
Richard
she was
Mantle
so
You
good.
did.
Well, now.
Yeah, that's what. If you guys are like feeling along the walls of the container and you feel something squishy, yeah, don't eat it.
Is it another corpse? Because I'm fairly certain I stepped on one a minute ago.
No, that's in the pile.
Oh.
We don't talk about the pile. The pile is.
Oh.
What happens in Jello Room stays in Jello Room.
Yeah.
Are they?
Okay. But yeah, if Borderlands 3 doesn't hit every note perfectly, I think Gearbox could be dead. And I'm not saying like Gearbox could be dead like fucking 3D realms hiding underneath the surface. I mean, they could like explode and
Like
die.
Boss Key.
I mean,
just
yeah,
fucking
gone.
You say that, but I reckon they could be either bought out by a bigger company.
Why? They've got no good IP.
Brothers in Arms is pretty good.
I'd say
Yeah, but
Borderlands.
You could snipe
Duke-
that IP rather than buying the entire company.
Yeah, I suppose.
I don't know. I think with all of these companies, it depends on management, and
Mm.
I think the real question is Randy gonna leave? If Randy leaves, then that changes the whole scope of things. Because I mean, they could do so much more with what they have, and they could also do new IPs, but they don't, and they haven't for years. And this development and this change of other game studios, I mean, look at Ubisoft. They've been starting to fund a lot more indie projects, grow home, grow up, been incredibly popular. If Gearbox does a similar thing where they start like making new IPs and actually, you know, contribute to it rather than just sitting on sequels, then hey, they might do well.
Might get a comeback.
Yeah, but I think that depends entirely on the CEO's directive and whether what they decide to do with it, regardless of who they are. And Randy Pitchford has not shown, in my opinion, the drive to do that.
The reason why I'm picking on Gearbox and not a company like Hello Games or something,
No.
the reason why I'm not doing that is Gearbox only really came into money with like the Half-Life expansion packs they did.
They also ported Halo 1.
Yeah, they ported Halo 1 and the Half-Life expansion packs. That's where they got their money from. But this isn't like fucking Gabe Newell porting Doom and using his Microsoft millions from that to go and make Half-Life.
No.
This is one guy like porting something that was already good or expanding on something that was already good and going, yeah, no, I'm going to use this money to do fuck all. Like when they bought the IP to Duke, I was genuinely like concerned because it's like, why would they give that level of IP away if they weren't certain it was a poison chalice?
Yeah, I would also look at the sort of progressive social climate that is around and then think about whether Duke is really going to be popular for that. I mean, obviously, you know, in a world where Postal 2 is still popular and people still buy and play the shit out of that game, you can't say that there isn't an audience for it. But I think it would be much easier to market a Doom remake like it was than a Duke one, just because the thing that separates Duke from Doom, in my opinion, is personality and style, and that comes from the personality of Duke himself.
If they were to play him like a depressive action hero, who's like out of his depth in this new world, but at the same time is trying to keep the fucking grizzled fucking Vin Diesel-esque face going on, then, you know, it would work. But no, they're going like, oh no, let's make him talk about titties and strip bars. And...
You make it sound like that he's kept constantly in a vat of stem cells that keeps his youth and that his personality going.
He just rubs babes on his face.
Yeah.
But I think my only concern is that you might like if you try to take that spin on Duke. Are people going to say they were pretty much copying like Wolfenstein? Because a similar thing sort of happened with BJ Blazkowicz.
Not really.
Yeah.
He was
agree
never
with you.
like womanizing madman, but
Yeah, but in the most recent one, he has been a lot more toned down, and he's like
a dad
sick of
man
all this
now.
shit.
Yeah.
Dad boy.
Style.
he's
Yeah,
a dad now.
No, he's a disembodied head of a dad.
gotta love those yummy hairy dad games.
Dad is
That's,
please.
He's got 2 daughters that go looking for him in the most recent one.
What?
Yeah, the next Wolfenstein game isn't about him, it's about his 2 daughters trying to find him. In like the 80s.
I mean, he did canonically bang.
Yeah.
So we can confirm.
Can confirm, did canonically bang.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah,
that.
but so did Artyom, and if fucking Singing Pipes McMute Man can do it, everyone can.
Fucking
Artyom!
Singing
Pipes!
I mean, yeah. I like the new Wolfensteins. I like how they kind of changed. I like the way Doom and Wolfenstein have evolved in this new games environment from where they came from, and arguably where they started almost every other, direction within the games industry at
But they
that
kept
point.
the thematic flavour that made them so good.
Yeah, and Duke just hasn't. It's just.
Yeah.
It's that. It was.
If you could do something that
Good.
had that, though, do you think he could be a usable character in a game that kept what made his earlier games so good?
Potentially. Yeah, no, but again, I think that the developers and CEOs and stuff like that do not have the creative integrity to, or maybe just the aptitude to create a meaningful and interesting story that can provide that. I think. I would say that technically, when they're not sending their IP to other studios, Hello Aliens, Colonial Marines, they can make technically functional games, and they work on a AAA level. It's just they don't have, or they seem to not have that spark anymore.
Yeah.
Which a developer fucking needs to have if they need to make a good game. And if they want to make that good game, then I think they either need to fire or rehire. From all levels of the corporate chain.
Yeah.
I'm not calling for Randy's resignation. I just think
he's one of many.
There needs, and potentially, and there needs to be a change of a changing of the guard sort of thing.
Yeah.
We need that spark of innovation, and I think if they funded a couple of good indie titles, and even if they're mediocre indie titles, if they just get stuff out there, it will
they
help their
tried that.
credibility.
They tried that with We Happy Few.
We Happy Few did get a nomination for being original though, which
But
But
I
that
could
wasn't
shit
their
on your
idea.
keyboard and you could say it was originally shaped.
Well, I mean, I think on a more serious matter, like that nomination is good in terms of like potential legacy. It's just not particularly like a financial success.
no, it's not. It's not a financial success, but it just kind of shows that this might have some potential for a possibly better thought out project.
But like they didn't come up with it. They came onto the project late after the main game concept had been constructed and.
When they
Kickstarter
came in
happened.
after everyone got really fucking upset how poorly designed the survival aspect was.
Yeah, no, they were the ones who sort of like decided, oh yeah, we'll publish this.
We'll
But,
fix it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they should. There's a lot of research, but I think that there is a good case in there for Gearbox to go down. I mean, I don't know. I think I don't want to say it because Bethesda is potentially too big to fail, but they're not doing great.
Oh no!
They are not. Recently.
I think what's more likely in both Gearbox's or Bethesda's case is not necessarily that the companies will collapse and their IPs will just. And I think it's more likely that they will be. Well, no. Hold on a second. THQ shut down, and everyone and their IPs got sold on. It's not like they vanished into the ether. What am I talking about?
Yeah.
No.
Well, no. I just think that there's going to be a lot of changing and rescheduling and
Shuffling around.
Yeah, with all this kind of thing, and I think it's more likely. I mean, that's always happened constantly in
Bethesda
all businesses.
could fall over.
I don't think so.
I think it would be difficult for them to do that because they are
They've
quote, too big.
they've got the clutch of Doom coming up, but at the same time they've had like shit like Quake Eternal and all that.
But you forget
Which
though.
wasn't very good.
You forget though, like they did have.
Sorry, Quake Champions. Doom Eternal's a new Doom game.
Yeah.
You do forget though that like Todd Howard was spearheading a project that was I can't remember what it was called. I think it was called like Red Guard. It was an Elder Scrolls title, and it was supposed to be like a sort of Prince of Persia-esque kind of thing, and it was god awful. Like it was so shit.
I only people heard say it was like all right.
Well,
It wasn't good.
Mm.
And remember, this was like the period of time where they just released like fucking Oblivion.
Yeah.
They were known for making very good things by those standards.
Wait, no. Red Guard. I think Red Guard and Battlespire were before Oblivion.
Oh bloody hell!
Yeah, no, they were. Like they were. I believe one of them I think was before Morrowind, and I think one of them was after Morrowind. But no. Like after Oblivion, that was a solid 5 years of just making Skyrim and Fallout.
Yeah. Like,
no,
And they
yeah.
still didn't make the best one.
I mean, what I'd say was good about Red Guard, like it was original, like because it doesn't take from like the sort of pen and paper kind of like RPG kind of style thing. It kind of went to like the sort of more Prince of Persia, Tomb
Action
Raider
mode.
stuff that was kind of popular at the time, like solving puzzles, traversing obstacles, and that was really good and really cool. But it wasn't brilliant.
No, I
That's
just
what you
think-
get when
I
you
think-
chase fads.
Yeah, oh god. Yeah, that's... I think Bosky Studios is the big one for that. For chasing trends and getting
And then they
dunked
died.
on. Well, exactly. But I think the big problem with Bethesda at the moment is that they're not... The same problem that Blizzard has in terms of the Diablo 3 debacle. Diablo Immortal stuff.
Yeah.
Where they just don't have... They're not in touch with their players. And they have a shit release schedule for the next few years.
I'm genuinely curious about how like the publishing side of games works, or like how the decisions to start projects works.
We need more money.
Well, here's the thing: is that we like so many decisions seem to be made out of like this is the numbers are saying that we could make money off this if we try to tap into this market. If we consider streamlining this to be a bit more like our competitors, or we try to put ourselves here, we could try and gain this and stuff. Whereas we always look at these projects and then fail and go, oh, they should have listened to the fans. Like, there are so fucking many, I think many of us could name. anything from like Dawn of War 3 to fucking Diablo Immortal. But I don't think
statistics.
Yeah, but I don't think it works like that. Because you have to pitch these ideas to a larger company that is working on a different level. And if you just say, oh, well, we have like a really hardcore fan base that will buy our games, like, but how many people is that? Well, with rough estimates, we could probably solidify about 50k. It's like not good enough.
A couple of million. Pick a bigger market.
Yeah, pick a bigger market that could make us like.
And the worst part is with new industry. Sorry to cut in on you, but with new games companies and that now, no one wants to make new concepts. No one wants to make new ideas. They're too busy with their oh no, I'll fucking make another battle royale game because that's popular at the moment, or I'll make another crafting survival game because that's popular at the moment. And it's like, no one wants to go out there and push the boat out and say, hi, I want to make a new concept, because either they disappear...
Well, in AAA, I completely agree with that. I'd say there are very few AAA studios that are pushing the boat out. I think a couple are, but I think the majority of them aren't, and it's the indie studios and, like,
even the indie studios,
AA,
the majority of indie crap is just what's popular at the moment.
Oh yeah,
let's make
indie
one of that.
crap, I would completely agree with that, but again, you know, if you... There are over 100 games submitted to Steam every single day, and most of them are terrible. But there are a lot of games that are completely like new and different, and even ones that are not necessarily new and different, but are good, and they base themselves off other original concepts. They don't do as well. You know, there's Ancestors Legacy, a game that's free this weekend, so by the time this comes out, it won't be free. That came out in March of this year, and it's already free for a weekend. It already had to go through that, and it's a small studio, and the game's great. It's you know, it's really really good in my opinion, but. Yeah, the fact that they need to do that because of how oversaturated things are, and because it's so easy to pump out, like you say, indie crap, which is just ripping off other people's ideas and not having a new concept. It is a problem.
Because I remember I was following the development of Ancestors Legacy. There's a channel which I probably shouldn't mention, but there is a lot of videos outputted by a certain studio whose game has been in development for, I think, when I was back in college, which is like...
Oh, okay, I know the one you're talking about now.
So there was a video, like just a quick glaze over of Ancestors Legacy, and I was really interested in it. And considering it's the same people, I think it's the same people who made Men of War.
I think it is. I'm not sure.
Like Men of War Assault Squad, and that was, for me, because I quite like my historical games, it was really, really interesting, and it was actually a really cool concept, because it was like, you know, boots on the ground, but like, instead of controlling small squads, you've kind of got that Age of Empires thing of like controlling individual soldiers as well. Yeah. But then you can do stuff like direct fire, where you can actually take control of them. Thought it was really awesome. And then finding out this Ancestors Legacy was it's the same studio, so Once Interactive, which I think is like a Russian studio, behind this project, I was really like, oh shit, I really need to play this. Yeah,
it's just that the marketing can be as good as it likes, but it's not going to get through the filters of... There's just so much shit on Steam, and like non-original concepts.
I do think it's kind of unfair to say that the industry doesn't recognise more unique concepts, but because I would say that there's at very least a tentative, like, alright, fine, because, you know, at least one a year you're going to have a really unique indie game come out that's going to get a bunch of nominations at a Game Award. although notice how that's like...
Spawned a million attempts to clone it?
Yeah, but attempts to clone it, but also the fact that in those in terms of those nominations, it's usually like 2 or 3 a year. There's been... I would argue there's more and more coming out each year, but like... In 2015, it was obviously Undertale. In 2012, it was Fairs. In 2010, I guess it was fucking Super Meat Boy.
No.
2011, it was Minecraft.
God, what was the one small child, scary world, big spider?
Oh fuck! There's like
Limbo.
Limbo, that's the one. Yeah, you'll always get that one that's incredibly critically acclaimed, and Limbo and Inside.
But then there was like Thomas's Lane as well. I can't remember what year that was.
That was massively acclaimed. But then we have like Gone Home and stuff who were like, oh, it's really good, and it's like, no, it really
I
isn't.
haven't played it.
There's a lot of games where people go like, oh, it's great, I fucking love it, it's so meaningful, and it's like, no, like
I would always argue the case that like games can mean a lot to particular people because I'm the kind of. I'm the kind of person that would always argue that my own taste is crap, but the games the games that I really like mean a fucking lot to me for whatever reason.
Well, that's good. At least they mean something to you. If you're passionate about the ones that you play, I think that's more important than having, having a quote unquote good taste.
Yeah, like I'm just to clarify, I'm not saying I'm the kind of person that likes Gone Home in particular because I've not played it, but it's more like if you were to ask me what my favourite game of 2017 was, like I didn't play many, I played like 4 or 5, but between XCOM 2 War of the Chosen, Total War Warhammer 2 and Fire Emblem Echoes, I pick Fire Emblem Echoes because I fucking adored that game.
Fair enough.
As a guy on YouTube who's known for Warhammer 40k games,
and XCOM mods,
and XCOM mods, the fact I didn't choose those other two but I picked Fire Emblem seems fucking absurd. But I thought Fire Emblem Echoes was a brilliant take on a modern Fire Emblem game, but no one's gonna fucking care, and I'm just like, oh, that's like one of the biggest tragedies to me of that year.
Well, I mean, flush round. Let's go around discussing whose terrible games they like the most.
Oh god, that's difficult.
I'm gonna cut in for. Well, you've already said yours. Your subjectively terrible tastes. Mine is Watch Dogs 2.
Oh, that wasn't terrible.
Yeah, but I liked it as a sequel to Watch Dogs 1.
Oh, which was?
Immediately, he's like, okay, I take it back. That's fucking horrible, terrible. No, I no. God, I'm trying to think of guilty pleasure games.
Speaking of Ubisoft, and a similar title, it's The Division. I really liked it.
Yeah, you okay?
Well, you could say that's quite divisive.
Oh, shut up!
Shut the fuck
If you
up.
weren't locked in a container, we would throw you into the sea. But we're locked in here, so we can't throw you into the sea.
CancerRat, put down the rock.
Well, I don't even know where I got this.
I point my fingers at you, but I have none.
You've eaten them.
You brought a rock in here?
We were on a long journey, and I thought I might need a rock to weigh the tents down.
Why does it have a smiley face?
You gotta pick up a rock.
Why is there a smiley face written on it with the words "Dawn of War, Dark Crusade" on the front?
Oh, because it reminds me of my one true love.
In happier times.
Oh god, I can't think of a. My guilty pleasure, I will have to say, is the Alien vs Predator game that was on the 360. I really like that game.
That wasn't that bad.
No, it wasn't bad. I really enjoy it. I can't think of any other terrible ones. I don't even play, awful hentai games that I could talk about in any way, shape, or form.
Oh, mate, Meat and Fuck Kingdom.
What?
The meat and fuck games.
Oh,
What
mate.
the fuck is this?
No, sorry. You have...
My son, you have not played the glory of custom-made 3D 2.
Oh god, that title in itself is just...
It's horrifying, am I right?
Oh god, I hate that. And also, Jay, shut the fuck up. You have definitely heard of the meat and fuck games.
No, I haven't.
You are lying.
I have heard of the genre, but I've never actually...
They're terrible.
They're great.
Okay, let me have a...
Okay, you are now asking the Oracle about the meat and fuck games.
Oh, great stone tablet, show me what you have, eh?
Yeah.
Are you actually going to start playing a porn game on your fucking phone?
In the middle of like a...
Speaking of which, can you make calls on that thing?
Say you can't.
I can't?
There we go. You did great.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry, I'm sure you won't be trapped in here too long. Oh.
Sorry, nothing.
Oh, this is a can of worms.
Yeah, it's pretty tasty. Have you tried that?
That's a vagina.
That is a vagina. I've seen the great portal yawning! Actually, speaking of which,
Oh, God.
I think they're an indie studio, and it is actually reusing a concept. It was actually a pen and paper concept, but it was.
Is it fatal?
No, it's the most recent Call of Cthulhu game. Actually.
Oh, my favourite thing to jack off to.
Oh my god, the tentacles!
Yes.
So, this was a project I had been following for a while, and one of the things I kind of noticed was that they were especially in like their sort of trailers or their gameplay videos, they were reusing footage. Now, because I was really excited because I saw the trailer, I was really hooked, and I'm just like, oh my god, this is kind of like I've never actually played the pen and paper RPG. Because I looked at the rules and it was a fuster cluck to understand.
Oh yeah, it makes you go mad just looking at the rules.
Oh yeah, no.
Let alone the setting.
Yeah. So I thought, okay, well, if this, I might buy this. I might have a look. But then I got really worried because they kept reusing footage, and I'm just like, oh, this is not.
Don't you have
a
something
good
new to show?
sign. Yeah, and then so I kind of thought, well, I'm not gonna be a prude. I'll have a look at the gameplay videos when it's being released, and I was massively disappointed. I was so gutted because I was hoping this project would be really, really good. Like the cinematics were amazing. It's a good story as well, and I think one of the things that players especially were let down about was that a lot of people who are a big fan of like H.P. Lovecraft and Cthulhu mythos is that they only got to see Cthulhu for like 2 seconds, and it was pre-rendered video.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know enough about the Lovecraftian mythos to really comment on like how to properly execute it, but I am one of those people who's always an advocate for holding back big things until they're like impactful, because one of my biggest problems and one of my biggest like things that puts me off wanting to get into a game show or anything like that is when the power level like just continues to escalate more and more and more to the point where everything becomes meaningless. And I feel like when it comes to something as big as Cthulhu themselves, yeah, I don't think it should be a big surprise that you don't see them for too long. But then again, Shadows of the like Call of Cthulhu: The Dark Descent, I think it's called, the 2004 game.
Oh,
I forget how the fuck that ends, but I think by the end of it, you are basically going into the Elder Gods dimension to try and stop them from.
It ends with you killing yourself.
Oh well, okay. Spoilers.
Because that's the beginning of the game.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's the beginning. It's also the end. The main character fucking hangs himself.
Oh. That's not what's called Eternal Darkness, is it? The GameCube game.
No.
That was
This is a Call of Cthulhu game.
Oh.
That was made back in 2004, and you walk around to the townspeople and they'll go, "I don't want to talk to you, outsider. I'm a word."
I mean, that's like the Shadow of Innsmouth, though, where you go to like the village and everyone is like inbred fishmen. That
was the point, though. That was what it was going for. But they just fucked it up because it's just like, God fucking damn it.
Oh well. It honestly surprises me that that there are so few Lovecraftian horror games or games that use the Lovecraftian kind of stories and stuff like that, considering that it is like,
such a big deal and inspiration for a lot of horror.
That, and also it's open to anyone now. Because it's, the licensing's fucked.
They do say, I can't remember who the publishers is called, but they're very thing about sharing their license. I can't remember who the publishers is. Let me check this. Holy Tablet. Oh, Holy Tablet, show me.
No, it's what's the word for like when literature becomes equivalent to open source?
I mean, that works.
Just like raw, it's like everything that he wrote you can adapt and make your own stuff.
Well, yeah, because they've got a load of people who write this as like the Cthulhu mythos.
Yeah, no, I know, but like that's what I'm saying. It surprises me that something that's like royalty free and is so widely known isn't used for games more often.
I mean, it's very hard to convert his books into it because a lot of what of what was written was just it's super spooky because you can't perceive it, and making something perceivable in a game is difficult enough as it is. Making something that's supposed to be perceivable in a game is basically impossible. I mean, a lot of games have done similar, like Cthulhu-esque, like horror. I know Dead Space 3 was ripped on for being absolute shit, but when the Brother Moon show up at the end, and they're just like, we're hungry, like, that was fucking Cthulhu-esque. That was just like an unimaginably powerful entity that you are desperately fighting against, even though you're fucking minuscule compared to it.
Darkest Dungeon as well, where you play as like the worst PR manager of like, you know, to quote some guy's video, I think it's H-Bomber guy actually.
Worst PR manager.
But it's like, it's kind of true though, because like one of the things you were saying in like his video is that if it was just based around like, you know, point and click, it's it would just be a mobile game, but because there's like so much more in depth to it, it's actually pretty bloody good. Like, and obviously there is a lot of Cthulhu-esque kind of ties to it, with sort of Easter eggs like the Shambler monster.
Isn't that from
when you
Quake?
Huh?
Isn't that from Quake?
No, it was originally Lovecraftian.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
there
makes
is-
sense. Yeah,
Yeah,
'cause
no,
Quake is
it-
pretty
yeah.
Lovecraftian.
Sorry.
No, carry on.
Oh no, I was going to say, there is the one game I will say that has, other than Darkest Dungeon, I think the one game that has done Lovecraftian horror absolute justice is Bloodborne, in my opinion.
Yes!
Bloodborne is so fucking good.
I would add to that. I would say another game that's done it in a way that I felt was really, really good was Quake 1.
Oh,
Simply
okay.
because the big bad is a fucking Cthulhu-esque monster. The whole thing is you going through different realities to try and like stop it in different areas, meaning that you're literally a reality hopping fucking murder man. You know, the fucking monsters are either terrifying like night murder machines or unworldly, otherworldly horrors. And at the time, it was ridiculously well done. It was like 3D, proper 3D for the first time everyone was blown out of the fucking water. And I feel like, yeah, it really put across this like sheer level of disgust when you saw like the fucking, I think it's Shigura or whatever. Shigura or some shit. I don't fucking know the name of it. But it is I, Shigura!
Everybody see me, he's like, damn!
That's such a good album.
He's thick!
Everyone should listen to the Sheogorath album.
Okay.
It's on YouTube. It's so good.
Oh, I've actually yet to get around to that, and that's weird because you know I know like lyrics of the Breton Boys and stuff.
Yeah, it's so good. Plug Young Scrolls because oh my god, their work is great.
Shout out to Young Scrolls.
Yeah.
My boy!
They're never gonna see this, so I don't know
Yeah,
why
and
we're doing this.
if this telecommunication gets anywhere, whoever listens to it will hate it.
Hey, yo, can we get a quick shout out to Christina Applegate?
Oh god, my ears!
Ow! It's hurting my hands!
How do I clap out my fingers?
Oh, you just still have your palms.
Just flapping your fucking oily jelly stumps
Because
Because
together.
clapping is amusing.
You make
to
it
me.
sound like on those dolphin hybrid people from Paradise PD.
Yeah, you are a flipper.
Flipper person.
Yeah.
Oh, have we got one in the container?
No, I sometimes hear them thumping around outside though. At least I think that's what they are. I'm not entirely
okay.
sure.
was that?
They want to get in.
They're not getting.
I'm sure we'll be fine, right? How long do you think the bulk can last for us?
Oh, they want to get in.
I've been in here for like what is it, a day, and I don't think I don't think they should want to get in.
They
No.
should not be allowed in.
Oh no, just because they don't.
Not because they shouldn't be in here. It's because we shouldn't let you out.
This is also true. I mean, we haven't spoken about the various bad things that we do to them, have we? Like the
Do what now?
The bamboo canes and, you know, the shrieking Vietnamese, like that sort of things.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh.
Hey, don't worry about it, Thunder. You weren't conscious during it.
No, it's okay. It's
At least
fine.
not for long.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
The good
That's
news
the
is the MK Ultra should get rid of the memories.
Should
do.
It should, but it won't. It just won't.
60-40 chance of working.
Yeah.
Does anyone have anything vaguely sharp? I want to see if I can break through the container.
I mean, yeah, like, sure, there are some crude, sharpened pieces of metal that I keep lying around.
Let me just get my gun. Here you go.
Fucking hell!
Yeah,
Where did you get that from?
Okay, right. Look, I'm doing it.
Okay.
I'm doing it.
Okay, let me
Yeah,
just
sure
let me
you
just
are.
put my head above yours. Let's make this
Okay,
make
right.
this easy as possible.
This is so cute.
Come
isn't
on.
it?
This is
Do
going
you
to add to the power.
Have
isn't
you
it?
have you seriously tried this before?
No.
Oh.
Is the
You
fucker
can't-
empty?
What? No.
You can't die in the container.
We told
Did you bring an empty gun with you?
Maybe.
Oh,
When we leave here, I might just kill you.
they said leave.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because you can leave. No,
So,
they can't leave.
before this descent into insanity goes any further, does anyone else have anything vaguely related to games that we want to talk about?
I mean, I mentioned Bloodborne. Bloodborne 2 rumors are a thing, and they're
Yeah.
actually becoming more and more credible. And I am stupidly excited about that.
Introducing Half-Life 3 Bloodborne.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yes, that would be amazing. No, there are rumors for Bloodborne 2. Whether they seem credible, they all come from hints from I think it's called Desiree, which is From Software's VR game, and it hints at the new Bloodborne potentially being set in kind of Inca, Aztec sort of Mesoamerica.
Okay.
Yeah, and the old ones being a theme in that culture, and having the warriors, like the hunters were in the original game, basically like berserkers, like covering their faces with war paint and like drinking blood to become like fierce inhuman warriors. And it works a lot, and like being covered in gold and silver, and there's a lot of hints towards it, and I want it to be a thing so fucking much, but yeah, I can't help but think it's not going to happen until...
Sorry, you said Berserker, and all I can remember is, my love for you is like a truck, Berserker! Would you like to make a fuck, Berserker?
Did you say making fuck berserker?
Oh god.
Sorry, continue.
No, I mean, that was literally it. It was just like, Bloodborne 2 is a thing, potentially, but it's not going to be anytime soon. And
Hopefully
also,
we get a PC release this time around.
Well, you say that,
No.
but considering how far away it is, it's probably going to be linked with the PS5, which is going to probably be announced instead of Sony coming to E3. Yeah.
That's likely, considering
Very likely.
PS4's already chugging.
In before the really cynical people say Sony wins E3 by not showing up.
I feel like 2019
Well, they're
is...
like Luigi now. They just don't do anything and they win somehow.
Well, people could claim that was Nintendo, like in 2016.
I mean, yeah.
But
The fucking Switch. Oh god, that saved Nintendo.
Oh yeah, no, the Switch has made Nintendo so much more relevant. It's made it relevant within the console market that wasn't handheld, because they were always relevant in the handheld market. I mean, they
were the kings of
dominated it. Yeah, they had barely any on competition, but then their console department did fucking brilliantly with the Wii, and then dropped down.
The Wii was
with
basically
the Wii U.
just the GameCube hardware-wise.
Yeah, but it got a lot of fucking sales.
Yeah.
You can't really argue with its popularity amongst everyone.
So they made the
21
Wii U.
21 million compared to 100.
Yeah, I know, but they made the
It's-
Wii U.
But the Wii U was always going to pale in comparison to the Wii because of how ridiculously successful that thing was. But now, and they sort of had a lull in their console sort of popularity, and now they've come back hard with the Switch. And I have to admit, I was skeptical when it first came out, and a couple of people I knew were like, "Oh, I'm gonna go buy a Switch." I was like, "Haha, don't do it yet." And yeah, no, it has come out really strong.
And then
I
Odyssey
actually
came
really
out,
want a
and
Switch
everyone's
if we ever get out.
Yeah.
If we ever get out, we should get a Nintendo Switch and 4 Joy-Cons.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck, Smash was gonna come out in like a week.
Yeah, you're not gonna get that.
No.
Welcome to the container.
We can do our own version. I mean, if I find some more underlings and we can like dress them up, then maybe we could have our own version of Smash.
Oh, sweet. Okay, can we so we could just add anyone to the roster we wanted.
Essentially, but they'll be all sort of small rats with like.
Is the
hot
container
wire
big enough for us
pushed
to dig a
up
pit in
through them.
it? Because then we can make a midget fighting pit.
Well, I was gonna say, like, could I teach them how to use guns, because I want to put like a green can of peas on one of them and call it Master Chief and give it a gun.
I mean, you can, but you'll have to teach them pretty quick because they will die very quickly once the hot wire is inside them.
I think
I see. Yeah.
Haven't we got the corpse of Steve Vai in here as well to do the Halo 2 soundtrack?
They might be in the pile, but I don't want to go anywhere near the pile. Like the
I'm
fact that it
kinda
moved
scared.
the other day, like from one side of the room to the other, it's disturbing me a little bit.
If it's disturbing you, then.
Are you sure we're not inside? Like, as in the indie title? The one where there's that giant corpse testicle at the end that's kind of running round?
No, I'd say I'm probably closer to a bit Trip Runner, but
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I mean, just like imagine what a car compactor looks like after the Mafia body disposal. That's pretty much what we're in, but like a larger version of that.
Yeah.
There's enough space for us to move around in it, around the,
I mean, yeah,
the
barely.
mangled corpse.
And also,
Oh yeah, no, it would be fine.
the darkness that sort of surrounds the entire thing allows many other things to move around here. I'm convinced that there are, you know, multiple different things that we haven't yet to kind of speak to or be spoken to by them.
Maybe they're afraid of the flashing red light. Maybe we should stay here as long as possible.
That's why we're kind of under the flashing red light. That's my reason anyway.
See, all the shuffling reanimated corpses kind of reminds me of Fallout 76 at the minute.
Take me home,
West Virginia!
I thought that was just,
I want to return this fucking game!
I thought that was just you guys begging to go home out to the container.
No, that was
Jesus Christ, Todd Howard, what the fuck are you doing
yeah,
here?
I was wondering why you guys are reacting so
Buy
much
again.
to that. Why were you thinking about West Virginia? I just want to get out.
Take me home.
Did anyone not just see Todd Howard shuffle?
No.
Oh fuck, he's followed us.
Nah,
Oh
I
god!
don't want 500 atoms!
I thought we lost him in Cuba!
he's been following you ever since, and now he's in here. I like to think that he isn't the monster that keeps dragging away some of the pieces of the pile, and it makes that horrible bone crunching sound. But I feel like that probably is Todd.
God damn it, Todd.
Is Todd like snapping the necks of like, you know,
Oh god!
like creatures and slurping them like Christopher Reeve?
Yeah.
Speaking of fucking Todd, do you know what the final hardest enemy in Fallout 76 is?
No.
It's a dragon.
It's a fucking Skyrim dragon!
It's a bad.
Oh no!
They
Okay,
made you buy Skyrim again!
Okay, it's
you
not.
fool!
It's not literally a Skyrim dragon.
It has the same fucking AI!
Animations and AI, yes, but not the same model.
Oh
Like-
wow,
like-
yeah, that's like saying, hey, I'm gonna reskin fucking Doom and call it Doom. You better buy it, it's the original title.
Alright, heretic.
Ooh! Ooh, we're going there!
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to get personal, I mean, you only have to say one word, and that's Dawn of War 2.
It's not one word!
No,
It's like four!
I'm a rat. I don't do man speak well.
Do you even remember what like Dawn is?
No, all I know
It's
is
mythical.
all I know is that this container is partly the reason why that video has not come out
Yeah.
in the last 2
Hey
years.
look, I discovered a cool thing on the tablet. It's dawn!
That's a torch. The light is blinding.
Fuck.
We've been in the box so long that our fucking eyes have adjusted.
We're not gonna be able to see by the time like we actually leave.
Get some
here, are we?
shades!
It makes you wonder how that edgelord like Conrad Kurz survived on Nostromo.
It makes you wonder how the fucking, like... Actually, no, wait, it was night all the time out there as well. I was thinking of the fucking, my name is not important.
My name is not important.
I mean, like, considering how slick and smooth his hair is, he must have, like, a shitload of hair product.
I
He
bet
already
he
hates everyone. It's just like, fuck, I can't buy any more hair gel.
That's where
Ugh.
that's where it started.
They banned him from buying hair oil.
No. It's that he keeps going to buy it, finds it sold out, and because the aisles are so small, he's in like a. He's in like a small town in America. They don't have much of it.
The aisles are so small.
Nostromo is a
He
small
gets
town
fucking
in America.
stuck on chunks of the
It's-
aisle
it's
and
like-
can't move.
it's like-
He's like, oh no, I'm trapped.
Yeah, it's like trying to buy fucking Regain in an Asda. Like good fucking luck.
Oh my god.
Jesus. When are we going to get more Primarch models? That's the question. Like, I want all of the Primarchs.
Right, who's coming back next? Is it Angron or is it Fulgrim?
Sorry, for a moment I thought you meant Primarch is in the shop.
No, fuck that
I
We
place.
don't need more child labour. Yes, we do. No, we don't.
We need to buy more mannequins from Primark. We need those Primark models.
I mean, yeah, I'm not going to mention the mannequin collection I have. It's not here.
Those aren't mannequins. Those are people.
Shh, they're my mannequins.
No, they're people.
They're stiff and dead.
Oh,
just like a
no.
mannequin.
Mannequins are people.
Your mannequins are people too.
I actually identify as male mannequin.
Make mannequins great again.
I identify as the fucking Action Man. Woo.
I am Action Man.
Oh.
I'm gonna. Like, you need to get me out. I need to fight Dr. X.
Does that make me? Oh, I was
I
gonna say,
mean,
does that make me
considering that
Dr.
there
X?
hasn't been a Dawn of War 2 video, you're anything but an action man.
Oh
I'm gonna-
my god.
I'm gonna kill you.
I know.
around me are familiar faces.
Can we cut this? Can we cut the segment?
What
Can we cut the segment? I don't want to canonically be Action Man.
Oh, it's too late.
Dagoth welcomes you, my sweet assistant friend, to this place where destinies want you come unprepared. Never a bar, friend, or traitor, come and look upon the heart. I wait for you up the stages on your next incarnation. with the grand.
Almost heaven, West Virginia. Never seen it in my life, but I feel like it's been in ya. What the fuck am I doing?
Where's my refund? This game is fucking broke. I just want my money back, Bethesda. This is a joke.
Country road,
Take
take me home
To the RPG that I know, West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. I don't know why we started singing that.
Canvas bag.
So, after that wicked meaty piss, shall we
Yeah, it
continue with
chunky.
the discussion on the wonderful world of video games?
Well, after that wicked piss, I don't know if you guys noticed, but because it's pretty dark, you actually pissed on me. And now I'm just a waste and a head.
are you melting?
I think so.
I think it's all of you that I've eaten that's made my
Bladder inflates so much.
yeah, it's changed
I'm a
the
doctor,
pH
I
in my
can
urine.
tell you this is probably not very healthy.
Yeah, probably
Oh.
not. Speaking of things that are unhealthy, Fallout 76, huh?
Oh, that is that's definitely someone in like a hospice or like on the terminal ward.
Oh god.
Hey kids, when I was a boy I used to lick mercury paint. Okay, Dad.
So like, the thing is, because there was this one of the big things that people have been complaining about is the lack of NPCs, and to that
There are.
there are, yeah,
those.
but like for me, it kind of makes sense.
Well, yeah, if you want the player base to be the NPCs, that makes sense.
But like the thing is that it's so you've emerged after like what is it like
20 years.
20 years
Yeah.
being in the vault, so or 20 or 30 years. I can't remember how long, indeterminate amount of time. But if it's the Great War scale of what people have kind of said it is, there is not going to be much life out
Yeah,
there.
especially straight after the bombs dropped. I mean,
Exactly.
Yeah, it's.
the early Fallout games mentioned that it was absolute chaos in the first few days. Like it's weird. I think Bethesda saw the wreckage and thought, "Oh, that's just decrepitness. That's just things falling over from age." And it's like, no, that's the bombs wiping them.
Yeah.
If it's oh, sorry, carry on.
I was just about to say, I think there's a massive disparity with Fallout 76 between how the creatures seem to have mutated too quickly and the environment seems to be too undamaged by the fucking bombs this early. I don't know if the idea is that the trees have regrown this quickly or the trees just weren't affected by the bombs.
I don't.
But it,
No.
I understand. West Virginia is a less populated place, and if it's in the wilderness like the faults kind of are, it's less likely that a nuke is going to have reached that point. But at the same time, does that really work for the aesthetic and like overall tone, message, and sort of mise en scène, as they taught me in media studies, because I know fucking pretentious words.
Yeah.
Someone hit him.
Yeah.
No fancy words in the crate.
Well,
the
I'd
scene
say-
composition and the use of colour.
I'd swing, but I have just a torso now.
Yeah, I like how also the first thing we're going to talk about what's bad about 76 is entirely the this wouldn't actually happen in science when its problems are far deeper and worse than that.
To me, I think it's more the theme and the atmosphere. That is an important part of setting up a world like that, especially if you don't want to have NPCs. Environmental storytelling is going to be pretty damn important,
Yeah.
as well as like thematic consistency.
There's massive, gross, like, flaws in 76 that has annoyed me immensely, in that they explained why the FEV virus super mutants were in Fallout 3, because they were an experiment in DC in a lab beneath the surface. There was mutagen experiments there.
Yeah.
So that was happening. But they're mostly really dumb. There's very few of them that can hold a solid conversation, which is interesting because the Masters Army's mutants could hold semi-decent conversations, and they had like whole military structures and sergeants and lieutenants and shit. So they were able to hold like some degree of structure. The Masters Army comes way later. Brotherhood of Steel shouldn't exist yet. The Enclave are currently still regrouping on the 2 bases they've got. They're all showing up in 76, 20 years after the bombs dropped. They don't exist for another 30, 40 years.
Yeah, no, I mean, there are lots that I don't mind that as much simply because the creator can. I have a strong opinion that the creators can change a lot of their works. I mean, not to Lucas levels, but you know, I think that That should be like a metric system, like, you know.
What George Lucas
the
levels.
The Lucas levels.
Like the Lucas point is when you've gone too far.
The Lucas point.
Yeah, like I would argue Fallout 76 is kind of like on a 0.6 on the Lucas.
Approaching the sound barrier.
Well, I mean, it's like if you DM for something and you make a mistake and you're just like, oh, sorry guys, I'm gonna retcon this because it's better for the gameplay. You know, that to me makes sense.
Yeah,
but
You can't say, oh, all that lore we established over several games.
That's the thing.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
Age of Sigmar.
Yeah.
It's difficult because at the same time, I can understand when there is a really old franchise and you want to do your spin on it. You want to do your own thing and you've got your own ideas.
Yeah.
So then when you find out that the theme you wanted to go with or what you wanted to explore has already been done, it's kind of like disheartening because you're like, oh, I can't do that now, or I couldn't take this in the direction I would have liked. So wanting to retcon that makes sense to me, even if I don't agree with it. I think for me, it's just more that
They could have fixed this so simply, and the way they could have fixed it is by not doing the centenary bollocks and just having it go open, like, after all these events have unfolded.
Yeah.
Well, like 100 years later? Or...
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The Occupation Mountains are really hard to get to now. Think about how hard they'd be after a nuclear apocalypse.
But
It makes sense they'd be the first humans in the region and why there's strange survivors. But no, they want to do we want to show the stories right after the bombs fell.
I think
no one fucking cares!
I think they kind of screwed themselves there because I think the 20-year gap was the reason there aren't any people.
Yeah.
Like, the reason they have to put it so quickly after is like, okay, what do we do to the NPCs? Okay, they're all dead from the bombs. If you said 100 years later, there's far more chance that humans.
But you could still say that no one got to the fucking Occupation Mountains because it's so hard to reach them.
Yeah, I know. I appreciate that, but I don't think I think the lack of NPCs is one of the minor problems in the set of the large problems that exist.
yes.
What's really weird is in the wake of Fallout 4 and like The Simps and all that, and Liberty Prime and Fallout 3 to some degree, I actually think Fallout Tactics could have a place in canon now. Because before people were like, oh no, it can't be because the robots are too sci-fi and it's too sci-fi. And then you look at the stuff we got now and it's like, no, not really. If the fucking, the fucking Institute are rolling out human duplicates that are almost impossible to perceive, it's possible Vault-Tec before the war built human robot soldiers. Not like actual human soldiers, but like robot soldiers.
Yeah.
That look like fucking Terminators.
I mean, that kind of makes sense though, because you got to think, like, I think Vault-Tec, especially, like, during, like, the Operation Anchorage kind of stuff, weren't they the one... No, that was General Atomics.
But they were being funded by Vault-Tec.
Oh, okay,
There was massive implications that Vault-Tec was funding the whole the SimSense ship that tells you about Operation Anchorage.
Yeah, because you got to think, like, they were trying to... Well, they had, like, the Sentry bots, they had, like, the Mr. Gutsy kind of ones. I know it's General Atomics,
yeah,
but obviously if you're saying that they're funded, like...
Was it
that...
Robco?
Huh?
I think I love that fact that nobody knows what Robco owns and what General Atomics owns. It was like, who built the Mr. Gutsy? We don't fucking know!
No, Mr. Gutsy was built by General Atomics.
Except he isn't, because when you look at the older ones, it says he's a Robco one.
But you've got, what's...
I'd like to think that they're, like, different stages of production. Like, like Apple, and then there's, like, Samsung hardware, and it's like, yeah, so you can have an iPhone, but it'll have Samsung hardware.
But you've got Codsworth talking to Takahashi or
about
whatever
General Atomics, and that's why they were going, hang on a minute, no, because the old manuals in the original games reference them being Robco.
Oh, they fucked the law so badly.
I want to preface this entire conversation, at least from my opinion, my point. I haven't played Fallout 76. I have not played Fallout Tactics. I own Fallout Tactics now, thanks to the autumn Steam sale.
You should play it. It's good.
But I have not played 76. My entire exposure to Fallout 76 is that there is a person that I know who has been playing it a lot, where we're meant to not be playing video games, and they love it. And as much as I'm sure that we're all going to probably shit on the game, I don't think any of us would ever want to deter anyone from enjoying it, and we're not slagging off people who are enjoying it, who are playing
I
it.
just think it's a terrible, terrible business practice.
Yeah, I think, well, at least my problems specifically stem more from the developer and publisher relationship with the consumers, and just just the shoddy sort of way this thing has been shat out, and how it could have been made so much better.
Oh, do you want to know some fun things about that?
Go on.
On boot, it searches for Skyrim files, then it searches for the Fallout 4 CD,
Oh my god.
then it runs Fallout 76.
That's great.
That's how much it was shat out.
So wait, well, okay, I'm going to blow this completely out of proportion, but are you saying you could go, I'm going to boot up Fallout 76, and then it just loads up Skyrim?
Yeah.
Hey, you are trying to cross the border, right?
Yeah.
Walk right to that Imperial ambush.
Welcome to the waste.
Damn it, Todd, you've done it again!
Alright.
You just pick up a fucking tape and it's just like crossing the border, right?
You see, now I'm wanting Fallout 76 exactly as it is, but you know how, like, obviously voice files are played sequentially in terms of when they should be. Yeah. I just want those replaced with the Skyrim voice files, so as soon as you're starting to walk out the vault, you just hear over the intercom, not even through, like, a filter that makes it sound like an intercom, hey, you, finally awake.
It's that's literal.
No, it's not the intercom, it's the fucking Codsworth that wakes you up in the morning.
Yeah, just, hey, you.
No.
Stand up. There you go.
Even better, it's when you first look at your Pip-Boy. So when you come up and it's just like... all the skulls five go.
You can play the entirety of Skyrim on the bed.
Oh my... That would be amazing, though. That would be so...
Yeah, now that it's
they've already done very special edition. They could do
it's
it.
on the Switch, you know, so why can't it be on the Pip-Boy?
No, they could just put very special edition on, but just have it like not use voice commands. Just have like text options.
Oh,
so you just play very special edition Skyrim on the Pip-Boy. You just be like, "This is infuriating, you piece of shit! You made me buy it again."
Jesus Christ! Yeah, that's gonna be a mod now.
Did you guys forget about very special edition? They
think
ported Skyrim to Amazon Alexa.
Oh, for fuck's
Oh
sake.
my god.
It's completely voice operated.
Why do I feel like that?
It's actually really good. It's like, it reminds me of like Gork and a lot of like early like fucking not pen, but like digital
text adventures.
Yeah, text event.
You know, you are likely to be eaten by a grue.
Why do I feel like that's Skyrim is this really like once upon a time it used to be a prize cow, and Todd Howard is the farmer, and he loved this.
Once
cow.
upon a time it was like fucking Jessica Rabbit. Now it's the village whore.
Oh yeah, like the cougar. But like the thing is,
Jesus.
is that this poor prize cow that Todd Howard owned and has fond memories of, it's dying. Like, you know, it's not got a lot of blood left in it.
Come on, Bessie.
It's decrepit, it's really thin, but Todd Howard's like got 2 buckets in hand and he's like, come on big girl, we've got a big day ahead of us, and this cow is like, please, end my suffering.
It's like a revenant at this point.
I don't get the Skyrim hate. I honestly don't. It's such a good game.
It's a great game, but he makes us buy it on every fucking
No, he doesn't.
platform.
He just releases it on every platform.
I'm gonna say I think it is a 5 out of 10 boop game. I don't think
really?
I think for all of its quality in execution potentially, and all of its qualities there, I think it lacks that in terms of fulfillment. But remember, this is my opinion.
No, that's fine. My question would be though, is that a retrospective 5 out of 10? Is that because you've now been informed by the open world games that have come out since?
Not really, given that I sort of made this conclusion when I first played Skyrim in 2011. I had only played Oblivion like 5 months prior when I borrowed it from a friend of mine in June. And I played Oblivion. I don't think I even ended up beating it, but I played a decent chunk of it. Went to Skyrim and sunk 200 hours. 200 hours straight up into the thing. And then kind of like... But then that time where I closed the game and didn't open it again was for a long time. Yeah. And and then I thought, I'll play Oblivion again. And then I played Oblivion and found it way more fulfilling. So, I mean, it can still be a nostalgia thing, even if it's like 5 months.
Yeah.
But I just thought I kind of made that conclusion back in like 2012, 2013.
Okay, fair enough.
That I think I preferred Oblivion.
Okay.
I'm going to back that actually, because from time when I played, like, so I played Oblivion a lot because I rinsed it because I didn't have a lot of RPG kind of games that sort of time. So I absolutely rinsed Oblivion. And then Skyrim came out. I couldn't afford Skyrim at the time, so I played it at a friend's house. from the brief moments I played it, absolutely loved it. I thought it was amazing. I thought it looked so much better and all this sort of thing. And then obviously the PS4 remaster for it came out, and I thought, well, I'm going to buy it because I don't have the DLC. I don't have anything like that. Is that the dolphins?
The fucking dolphins are here.
Yeah, they're the people in the other crate.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's fine.
The whore one or the...
I think it's the Vietnamese cockfight one, isn't it?
Oh.
I like pressing my ears against the wall and hearing that. All three of them.
Anyway.
Yeah, see, no, I don't have an opinion on Oblivion because I've not played it. I've played Morrowind and I've played Skyrim.
I mentioned Skyrim's execution with Oblivion's complexity. Sorry, with Morrowind's complexity. And then gets like a midpoint between them.
It's still really good.
I would personally say if you did try Oblivion, you'd probably be like, this is kind of an awful middle ground.
That's kind of why I haven't played it yet.
That, which is perfectly fine. Once again, I'm one of those people who thinks my opinion is trash.
Okay.
So I think Oblivion's a difficult one to get into after playing Morrowind or Skyrim. But I think it's because I played Oblivion first. I think that's why I love it.
Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, in the same kind of vein, I personally think Half-Life 1 is better than Half-Life 2. But a lot of people I know are just like, what the fuck you on about? Half-Life 2 is the better game. It's so much better. It revolutionised the industry. And I'm like, but it's only one.
Controversially,
Go on.
never played Half-Life.
Yeah.
A lot of people haven't.
No, neither. And again, as a supposed designer, I really should
I
get
would
on that. I've got it now. I finally fucking bought it.
I would highly recommend you can get it done in, like, if you're not completely retarded and you actually play decently,
Right.
you can get it done in like 8 hours.
Okay, so it'll take me about 16.
So is Half-Life's like releases as muddled as like Blade Runners? Because I found that
Oh yeah, no one knew where the fuck it came out because stores were stocking it before it was supposed to be released. Stores weren't stocking it until months after it was released.
Well, I mean, for me, it's more that I did play Half-Life and I've yet to. I didn't beat it. I've obviously played the Zen levels with you on like Svencoop.
Yeah.
But like I don't think I even got up to the Black Ops guys because I was stuck in. I wasn't stuck. I was continuing to go forward, but I was just thought at this point I should be on the higher ground level, right? I swear I remember this is what it was like in Freeman's mind, and it's like no, I'm still down here.
There's quite a bit of time. Weirdly enough, We've Got Hostiles comes surprisingly late into the game. You get the shotgun and everything before you get like the machine gun, which you get from We've Got Hostiles, but you still don't hit the top ground. And I think the reason why you don't hit top ground very soon in Half-Life is it's fucking hell up there. Like the short periods you are on top ground, you are getting shot at constantly. There is shit flying everywhere, helicopters everywhere. Gordon probably now has agoraphobia because every time he goes outside, there's just helicopters and gun noises. Even in fucking like Half-Life 2, there's like every time he goes out into a wide open area, it's fucking antlions, fucking gunships, fucking. Make it stop! I just want to go back inside!
That'd explain why Highway 17 so hellish. Not because it actually was bad, but because Gordon was perceiving half of those things.
Oh god, I hate this place!
Yeah.
So,
It's like Artyom going to the surface in the Metro games.
Yeah, basically. I don't like being up here, take me down!
it makes me like kind of think though, would we ever get a remaster of Half-Life?
We have.
What?
Black Mesa.
Yeah, Black Mesa is a... it's like a pseudo remaster,
But
it's not
it's
official.
Well, you say that, but Valve has practically given it their stamp of approval. But
Hunt
again,
down the Freeman.
they gave Hunt Down the Freeman.
That could be an entire.
up my face.
That could be an entire podcast in and of itself.
Is this like the Duke Nukem remaster here? You fucked up my face.
No, that's from...
Have you
that's
not
from
seen
Hunt Down the Freeman?
What?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's an actual line in Hunt Down the Freeman.
Wait,
Oh,
I think we need to have an episode
also talk about,
specifically
like,
about Hunt Down the
outsourced,
Freeman.
like,
Yeah,
I could go on.
Like, all this fucking, like, Silent Hill Pachinko machines. Pull the lever! You know,
Fuck Konami.
it's stuff like that, though. It's like, why would you do this?
It makes me think though, like, is Metal Gear Survive like just a fan fiction game? Because
Yeah.
it's just.
I would
it's
say
just,
it is, because it doesn't have fucking half the team
I
behind it.
wouldn't even say the fan fiction game because the people who made it probably weren't bloody fans of it by the time they finished.
It kind of just feels like the game was just made out of spite. It's kind of like they're just kind of, hey Hito, you see this beautiful, well-crafted story you've made? Yeah, well, we're just gonna take a massive fuck you and then
I-
just slap that.
I would say beautiful and well crafted both have very much a lot of asterisks next to them. But
Oh, Konami games.
I mean more Hideo Kojima games. What the fuck?
Yeah, how much of Death Stranding have you
Oh,
guys seen?
God, that is like... It's like going to, like, Film Festival in Cannes and then just going through, like, the avant-garde section or avant-garde horror section. You're just like, what the fuck?
Am I the only one who remembers the part where they get that girl from the Han Solo movie to eat a grub?
Yeah.
Oh, Leah Seydoux.
like-
Yeah. Yeah,
Grub,
she's
tasty.
just like, oh, you just gotta eat these to survive. And she's like,
And he's all like, no, I have a baby.
All
Like, I'm a baby.
all I
I
know
have the
is
baby.
that fucking Hannibal's in it, so
Yeah.
I'm happy.
Um,
He's a beautiful man.
It could be... It looks interesting and it would be an experience to play, but at the same time, the people who worked on it, especially like Leah Seydoux, what's his face? Norman Reedus, Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah.
They have no idea what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, no, they don't.
No.
One of them described as like a Facebook game at one point. I was just like,
What?
yeah, no, of course, mate.
I think the best description we have for it at the moment is interdimensional Amazon delivery guy.
Yeah, that would work.
Yeah.
That is quite literally what the plot's going to be. It's just like, I gotta deliver this post across space and time.
What if it's Postal 4?
Fuck off.
What if Death Stranding is Postal 4?
Fuck.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, on that note,
Oh god.
there is a new Serious Sam game coming out called
Oh.
Planet Badass, and it looks really good. But one of the things I really, really wish for, and I know it's never happen, but they had fucking Postal Guy in Oh Sir, which is like a completely different, like, it's a curse simulator game.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, tell you what I'd really like is if they managed to get all of the original build engine like characters, like Lo Wang, the original Lo Wang,
Yeah.
or even the new one, fucking Caleb, Duke, and then also Postal Guy, and had them as playable characters
That'd
in
be
Planet
great.
Badass. Because I think it'd be such a great, like, not even send off, but like a nod to like these early titans of the FPS genre
I mean-
and the horde fighting genre.
The Postal Dude will not be done. That will never happen.
You don't know.
The other stuff, I
The Postal
believe-
Dude could do. I wouldn't be
don't
surprised if
know.
Running of Scissors were just like, hey, Crow Team, have our guy. Because I mean,
they'd
they
say
put
no. I don't
they
know.
put him in fucking Oh Sir. And Serious Sam
Oh,
puts
yeah.
loads of people from other games. I mean,
Yeah.
they joke about fucking Duke Nukem in like their own games.
Mm.
So imagine them going, "Hey, Crow Team, want to be politically incorrect?" Yes,
Hey Rick, do you mind voicing this character again?
yes.
Oh god. I kind of I wish he voiced more
He'll
characters
bite my ass.
because it's so good. Like his voice is great in it.
I just hope the guy who voiced Caleb does more voices because he's so fun.
Oh fucking Caleb.
He's such a cool character. I want Caleb again. Ooh, red burgers.
So, I suppose, like, as far as remasters are concerned, which we were talking about a little bit.
Yeah,
Sorry,
sorry.
before like
Yeah,
we have
we derailed
I-
that entirely.
I did more recently play something that was remastered.
Oh,
ish.
did you? Before
yes.
you got locked in here.
Well, no. The PlayStation 4 is just like there.
They
I mean,
they open like a little hatch and slide it in.
yeah.
Did you not notice that when we got in here?
No, I didn't quite notice that, but I did hear the weird winding sound of like the electric motor going.
It's not just what the lights coming in.
We don't talk about the light coming in because it never it stopped happening, and
Oh,
I miss the light, and
Yeah,
it makes
dark
me sad
vision.
to think about the light.
this is just like a nod to Fallout Forward. Like, I'm safe in the light. I'm safe in the light. I'm safe in the light. I feel like that's Todd Howard kind of like rocking himself back and forth.
Oh
in the corner.
god, the tangent! It's happened again.
Well, he's in here, but
Oh yeah.
He's in
yeah.
here somewhere, but again,
He
if
doesn't
we-
want to be in the light.
If we say his name, he'll
3
take
times in
He'll
a
take
row.
another.
you know, I think after that last conversation, he's probably planning to kill us.
So anyway, remasters, right?
Yeah, so I decided, because I decided to play the Spyro remastered trilogy, the Reignited trilogy. That's what it's called. Because
and original.
because Spyro was like one of my favorite games, and like one of the few games I would comfortably call a childhood game, purely because I should have actually been at the age that I was to play it, not like Dawn of War. Yeah, and that's fucking weird.
Xbox One has no games but the PS1 is my favorite game, Spyro.
But yeah, that has been an interesting exercise in remastering next to the Crash Bandicoot one, because I find it very. I think that between the three games, Crash 1, 2, and 3 have far more synergy, in that Crash Bandicoot 1. Sorry, no. Crash Bandicoot 2 is Crash Bandicoot 1 with like extra tools to play. In that case, what I mean is that the circle button is like a crouch button. And immediately, you go from a character in Crash 1 where all you can do is spin and jump, and those solutions to killing enemies are pretty much interchangeable, because I don't remember many enemies in Crash 1 that are designed around doing one over the other. Whereas in Crash 2...
There's some situations where you want to use one over the other.
Yeah, there are situations like if you want to get to a ledge, or like slippery climb, you're going to have to jump on those birds. Don't spin those fuckers, you'll die. But in Crash 2... with the crouch button, they open up sliding, they open crawling under objects, they open up the high jump, that sort of thing. And immediately you have 3 different tools to take down enemies, and they make specific enemies where, like, you'll have these turtles with spikes around the edges, so you'll have to jump on them. You'll have these enemies that have, like, these, like, molten hot, like, orange things around their heads, where you have to slide underneath them, because you can't jump on them and you can't spin into them. So, so that was a big change from Crash 1 to 2, but everything at its base was the same, sort of. And then Crash 3 was Crash 2, but with superpowered versions of those moves. Like, when you defeat a boss, you would get a stronger body slam, you would get a stronger... you would get a double jump, you would get a spin
that was really satisfying.
Yeah, that was really good. Whereas with Spyro 1, I will admit, I was in the Alpha Legion before I played Spyro 1, right? I played it when I first played Spyro 1 when I was 15. I always grew up with 2 and 3. Spyro 1 is such a different game from those first two in terms of...
a completely different beast, isn't it?
Yeah, and I find it really interesting when people talk about, like, what's your favourite out of the original Spyro games? Because you have most of the camps of Spyro 2 and 3, but you do have you have a larger camp for Spyro 1 than you would for, like, Crash 1 compared to Crash 2 and 3. Because Crash 1 is Crash 2 and 3, but with a steeper difficulty curve and with kind of, like, a terrible sort of save system. Which has been fixed in the remaster, sure. But with Spyro 1, there's less of the mini-games, which some people say that's the reason why Spyro 1's better. It's a more baseline experience. Some of the mini-games in Spyro 2 and 3 are fucking bullshit. But so many things are missing that make Spyro easier to play. Like, the hover button. I completely forgot Spyro 1 does not have the hover button, and to kind of give context, Crash 1's like a more basic platformer of jumping, whereas Spyro, it's more like a Banjo-Kazooie explore an environment sort of thing. And like in Spyro, you'll jump and you'll glide to get to areas, but some of those jumps are kind of difficult, so in Spyro 2 and 3 you have a hover button where at the very end you lose your forward momentum and you go up a little bit. So generally that's really good for when you're just about to miss the ledge, you could just quickly bring yourself back up. Spyro 1, you don't have that, and my fucking god is that game harder for it. Like,
hard.
It is... it's
so many precision platforms,
yeah,
right?
Well, like, it's weird, because Spyro 1 generally isn't that much of a precision platformer compared to Crash, but it's fucking annoying, and there's, like, so many points where you have to land a jump just right in order to get to a ledge to gather all your collectibles and get up there, and it's not there, and... In Crash 1, I can understand why they didn't bring in that crouch feature that unlocks the body slam and the slide jump and things, because that would probably break the game, and it would break the level design. But in Spyro 1, the hover button would just make it more bearable. I think the one thing I can think about with that hover button is that they didn't... No. Hold on. I'm gonna jump to this.
Are you trying to formulate his thoughts?
No. Right, so a thing about the hover button when you do finally play Spyro 2 and 3 in that remaster, is that I swear this doesn't happen in the PlayStation 1 game. I might be completely wrong. I could grab a PlayStation 1 from... Oh yeah, right, shit. No, never mind. I couldn't grab a PlayStation 1. So
I don't even have mine lying around
No.
anymore. I think it fell into the pile.
Oh, mine committed ritualistic seppuku, as in
You committed Sudoku.
yeah.
Committed Sudoku.
I basically loaded up my original Spyro 2 Getaway to Glimmer, and it just kind of like had a few bright flashing colours, and it just kind of just died.
Oh, that's a shame.
It's like when you
Yeah.
got a hamster in a microwave.
Yeah.
It just did not go well.
Fucking hell!
Yeah, but like,
We're on like a low setting, so it has that few moments of being like, why did you do this to me?
You realise that you can see the panic in its eyes before it explodes.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I'll note that like,
Jesus Christ!
when you
Jason
switch
Bourne.
when you switch to Spyro 2 and 3 in the Reignited trilogy, for whatever reason, there's a weird delay for how quickly you can then do the hover. I swear in Spyro 1 there's no delay for when you can actually use the hover function, but for some reason in the Reignited trilogy, I think it might be an animation reason. They just won't let you do it so early, and that for whatever reason makes that difficult when you just want to do something super quick.
I mean,
Which-
it could have something to do with the fact that it would break the levels.
Here's what I'm thinking, because in Spyro 2 especially, there is a notorious thing you can do to break the game where...
You level skip like half the game, can't you?
No, that's for a Spyro... That's a PS2 Spyro game. So you can do a charge jump, where you start charging and you jump. And then there's like a glitch where I think you can then jump again and then do your hover, which lets you break the boundaries of the level.
Right.
And that was in Spyro 2 back in like the PlayStation 1 version. I feel like they might have wanted to put that delay on it to prevent you doing that as easy. Which, fair.
But then why don't they just fix the fucking level boundaries?
I don't know. Like, because I think...
Yeah, and also considering it's in UE4, that is going to be very easy to
Yeah,
do. That's a blocking volume.
Because, speaking of UE4, because I feel like three out of us know how to use Unreal 4, and I feel like you could learn how to do it in a day.
I could probably pick it up.
Yeah, like...
I think you really underestimate my abilities in UE4.
Overestimate.
Overestimate.
I feel like something weird's happened, but what would make more sense is that when you load up Spyro 2 and 3, it's a different version of the player character that you that spawns.
Yeah.
But what I almost feel like is happening is that when you do your initial glide, it checks to see what game version it's running and then turns on the hover feature but has a delay before you can use it.
It wouldn't need to do it. It would just need to spawn the version of the player character for each one.
Yeah, that would-
You can set it in a game mode. So if you make a level, you can have the game mode override setting and then have it be that game
It
mode.
would spawn in Spyro 2, Spyro rather than
Yeah,
Spyro 1,
yeah,
Spyro.
that would make more sense.
Yeah, I think that's the way that they would have done it mechanically, but then at the same time, this is about... This game, I don't think it would have been made in blueprints. It's probably been made in UE4 with code, and then all the animations have those that then allow the designers to change it.
They would have, like, skeleton the shit out of it.
Yeah, exactly. But, no, I get you. It is weird. I can only assume it's for balance and to make sure you can't, like, skip the level.
I guess, but it makes the game more frustrating in bits because it's a really mixed bag in terms of this is improved and this is kind of made worse. Because to slightly go back to why Spyro 1 is weird compared to those other two, it's not just this hover button missing. It's also that you can't swim in Spyro 1. If you go into if you go into water, it hurts you. Whereas in Spyro 2, immediately, not the first level, but the first home mode, it's like, yeah, here's a river. Learn how to swim. Go in. You have an entire other place to explore.
Is that a Tiki one?
It's a Tiki one, but also the home world before it.
Oh yeah, shit, yeah.
Where they like,
and you feel like, what the fuck, I don't touch that, I might die, and it's like, no, you dipshit.
Yeah, I mean, they texture the water differently in Spyro 1, which at least there's some.
Well, what was the difference in terms of years in the release of Spyro 1 and 2?
1.
Was there only 1 year? Again, but this is the problem when you have a trilogy, which then you can play one after the other. That becomes an issue. Was originally in the original design, it wouldn't have been because there's been that much time. You are probably more accepting of, oh hey, now I can't do this thing, rather than in a game where essentially in the course of the same game, the same disc, you go, oh okay, actually. I can't do that. So I guess that's more of a problem with the remaster specifically rather than the game. But I do see your point.
Yeah, it's kind of odd because the way I always saw things like before the remasters came out, I always thought Spyro 1 was the better game in terms of its own merits than Crash 1. Next in the remaster, I feel like out of the 6, when you consider that they've compared to each sort of trio, I think. No, that's unfair to say that Spyro 1 is the weakest because...
I was going to ask, which one? I mean, we got, someone who's played Crash Bandicoot remastered, and we got the person who plays Spyro remastered. I'm curious in terms of remastered, which is better? Like, which is a better example of a remaster or remake or whatever they call themselves?
I think that Spyro 1 currently has been... Sorry, I think that the Spyro remaster is currently the one that's been either better made or has more likely held up better. Even if I do adore Crash, I prefer it overall.
I'm gonna contest that because I really like Spyro, but I've played Crash Bandicoot a lot more. I'm gonna say that's aged beautifully like a fine wine because it's like, well, I gotta keep my Roman side, man. Well, I don't know why I raised my stumps like that.
Yeah,
I think Crash is probably the more, at least like these are two completely different beasts. I feel it's comparing. You're comparing like Mario 64 to Banjo-Kazooie. Like they are similar. They are similar in idea, but
you got your mascot platformer and you got the kind of console seller at the time.
Yeah, like one's more about Spyro is more about collecting things and exploring an environment, whereas Crash 1 is about an A to B linear like platforming challenge. I find Crash more fulfilling in terms of like I'm older and I like kind of a challenge and that sort of thing. Because Spyro 1, excluding the mini games that can go from really easy to batshit hard, Spyro 1 is big game. It is. There is very few situations where you are at risk unless it's like a platform.
Well, I mean,
challenge.
I guess I didn't mean to ask like which one was better. Which one is the better remastering of the is the Spyro Reignited trilogy a better remaster than the Crash Bandicoot?
I'm deeply invested in the outcome of this because
are you
going to be a tiebreaker?
More fucking
you can see like behind his dead little eyes how much
I'm sitting here in horror and kind of fear as I listen to people discuss how remasters are kind of shit or not as good as the originals or this, that and the other. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I still want to have hope for Command & Conquer Remastered. I still want to have hope for Red Alert Remastered. I want to believe.
Then there's a little like live action Mufasa on your shoulder telling you it's going to be terrible.
You see, I think that here's the thing: is that obviously I'm talking about the cons and stuff about this, but ultimately I do really like both remasters. Even if I have to say I lost my interest in the Crash remaster quickly, but. I've been enjoying playing through the Spyro the Spyro trilogy remaster, and I've been using it as kind of a basis of thinking about, do I prefer Spyro 2 and 3? Because I've never been able to decide. I feel like those two are very tightly contesting. I think now I'd say I prefer Spyro 3 to 2, but I have yet to properly finish Spyro 3 on the remaster. Once we get into the more bullshit mini games, I might change my fucking mind.
So, this is kind of how I feel with like Crash Bandicoot, because one of the things like, so I didn't really play 3 as much. I didn't get a chance to play Warped until I went to a car boot sale in Cairo, where I managed to pick one up, and like I was like, oh my god, this is fucking amazing.
Were they terrified by the jelly limbs and all that?
Yeah, no, they kind of just like they just.
Well, this is when you still had arms.
This was when I still had arms.
It's Wales, it's normal.
Yeah, no, like the temperature was, a climate into my jelly limbs until like the shit-covered peasants were like, Jesus Christ, just take it away from me! Get away! Where I kind of just went like this, like going into the shops.
Inflatable tube and that. It's gone.
But yeah.
So I remember playing. Well, after playing like the first one, the remaster, I was like, fuck me, this is much harder than I remember, but it feels more fulfilling when you do more levels, and like once you complete like an island, you're like, well shit, this took ages, but I'm so glad I've done it. I feel like I've really kind of fulfilled myself. But then when I played Warped, I was kind of like, well, it's not like a mastery of skill, it's just more like, this is really easy.
More levels.
Yeah, like you kind of like, there was even a part in the level where I was going back because I just wanted to make sure I got all the boxes. And when I found out I got to a point where I couldn't because you needed like the scuba gear missile launcher to like destroy the coral, it's just like, well, I don't feel like I've gained anything.
Yeah, it's actually that's interesting to think about because I mean, Crash 1's like optional collectibles are handled a bit differently, where it's
Yeah.
like, you have to go through the whole level, break every box, and Crash 1 had some instances where you had to do prior levels to then go back to them and then unlock the things. But like Spyro 1, most of those levels, in fact nearly all of them, because there's no like new things to unlock later, you can 100% levels in your first playthrough. And that's how I played Spyro 1. Whereas Spyro 2 and 3 are full of way more instances of, oh right, I need to learn how to climb, so I have to do that and then come back later. And Spyro 3, I have to unlock this side character.
When did Spyro 2 come out?
1999.
Was it before or after Symphony of the Night?
What year was Symphony of the Night? 97?
I will ask the Oracle.
Spyro, I believe that Symphony of the Night is 97 and Spyro 2 is 99.
Spyro 1?
Spyro 1 is 98. Spyro 2 is 99.
Okay.
I can't say that it was the prevalence of Castlevania types that had that, that kind of like backtracking. Because I know like Metroid games kind of like pioneered that, getting the abilities coming back.
You were almost right. It is 97. Symphony of the Night.
Right.
It's 97. So it was before. I didn't think it was that. I thought it was way later than that. I don't know why. It's one of
It's
those.
a really well refined game as well.
I can imagine it was. I just, again, I'm one of those people who have not played all of the classics, even though I bloody well should. I haven't played either of the Crashes and I haven't played Symphony of the Night.
I was going to argue that it could have been because of the success of that and its non-linear structuring that might have made the whole get better skills, come back, try again later more common.
Was that like... again, was that critically acclaimed at the time? Oh, and was it commercially successful?
What, Symphony of the Night?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I'm not... Because I don't know. I was just curious whether it was one of those ones that was a sort of cult hit. Because it
I
then
think it was one of
the big one.
best-selling PlayStation 1 games.
Oh, fair enough.
Which is a big fucking...
That is saying a lot considering the amount of software that was on that thing, and also you've got Crash and Spyro.
On the subject of remasters, because obviously there's the remastered PlayStation 1 that's going to come out soon as well.
Oh,
God, the PS Classic.
I'm definitely going to buy that. But like, one of the things...
Reginald, Nintendo are getting away with all the money. We can't let them do that. Release the PS Classic.
One of the things I would love to see remastered, and even if it just came as like one of these things that's got like preloaded games, like some of the best ones on there, Game Boy. I like not like the big brick that could probably kill a small child, but like the Advance SP, the one that you kind of like if you're on like a long road trip. Flip it up.
I mean...
I could see there being a bundle pack, a really big chunky bundle pack for like the Switch or something, that's just a shitload of classic Game Boy Advance games.
I would not be surprised if in a few years' time we'll get like the 50 years or the 25 years celebration of Nintendo and it will be a digital release or a physical release.
It should be 50 years because Nintendo's been around for fucking ages.
Yeah,
they were selling cards at the end of the Second World War.
They're gonna give us fucking... Oh, that would be interesting actually if they decided to make digital versions of their card games.
Yeah, but
would you like to buy regular cards?
All I'll say is this: they won't do that.
Because the Nintendo.
Because the Nintendo, and there's more money in not doing it, and
suing pirates who would try and do it for them.
Exactly, and going back to like the PS1 Classic. Fuck that. In all honesty, limited runs of these games that. Frankly, I think everyone should play Final Fantasy VII if they're into that sort of like turn-based JRPG. It's fucking amazing.
And
I think there are so many games on the PS1 which are accessible via emulators or ROM hacks and all this kind of shit.
Yeah.
And like no one would emulate like the percentage of people who emulate the stuff. There's a massive amount of them who would happily pay the fucking companies that own it for this stuff.
Yeah,
it would cost them. Yeah, it would cost them so little for them to say, okay, the entirety of the PS1 library that we can get, which we still have the licenses for, yeah, they're now on the PS4. It would be a bit of a fucking hassle with hardware, but
no, it really wouldn't. You could mount like fucking. You could mount like easy. I mean, shit. If we had perfect fucking. Have you seen Vineforce's recent video of Nesticle?
No.
What?
There was an emulator for the NES running on like Windows 95 called Nesticle,
Oh,
made by a guy whose loving name was Shitlord.
Yeah.
No, Shit King, that was it.
Shit King.
Shit King. Shit King's Nesticle is actually a really robust NES emulator on a Windows 95 machine.
Let me check the
If they can
Oracle.
do that, you can run that shit on a fucking
Yeah,
PS4.
but it really upsets me that, you know, we live in a time in the games industry where, again, backwards compatibility and archival of stuff is not being treated the same
It
way
should
as it
be.
is
It's
in
being
other
treated
art
as a
forms.
fucking bundle they can sell to you as some shitty
it's
hardware.
because as much as we try, it doesn't matter. We're not considered as art by the wider culture. There's a large section of people who do, but you know they're not the majority yet.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, until the businesses start treating what they do, until all of the big businesses who own these classics begin to treat them as art, you know, you're not going to get hands on them.
Yeah,
It's such a shame.
There's a very small. I know that there's a very small handful of games that are being archived by like an artistic thing, but they're like some of the biggest ones that you've ever heard of.
Yeah.
Like Donkey Kong, Mario Bros, Legend of Zelda, like Street Fighter 2, even Myst.
Yeah.
Like so.
Like again, from
June
a, from a
2000.
from a games design point of view, why the fuck can't we get all of our games designers to play old Nintendo games without having to buy an NES and having to buy the cartridges? No, just you know you hack it, you get
legally.
Legally, you get the emulators and stuff like that because it's the most convenient way of doing it, and
Yeah.
it's really irritating because the whole point of one of the biggest benefits to having language and the ability to document is so that you can teach future generations the mistakes that they made or how to build on things and how not to rip stuff off because we already did it. And it's a shame to hear designers go, "Oh, I've never played this," even though I've said that a lot today. But there are all of these classic games which have been lauded for their design. Symphony of the Night, for example, you know, that game, it was not available for a long time, and then you have it come out on the 360, and I think it's on PS4 as well now.
Yeah.
But again,
It's imported everywhere.
yeah, it's imported but eventually and finally, and then you get all of these other games. There should be a greater
Well, I mean,
archival of them so that designers can play them.
interestingly enough, on the topic of archival of old games, because I'm on a similar course to you guys, we're encouraged to play games as part of our course.
Right.
We're just
Yeah,
encouraged.
so are we.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. We're all encouraged to play games as part of our course.
Yeah.
And I found out recently that MechWarrior 4 is in abandonware state, which is games that nobody owns anymore.
Yeah.
Technically, Microsoft own them, but they're not doing anything about it. So it's publicly being shared with some of the best mod packs ever seen, like almost like industry grade quality material. But for the time, I guess anyone could do that because the industry grade wasn't that fantastic.
Well, MechWarrior recently got a Redux from Harebrained Software.
There's a MechWarrior strategy game. Which
Yeah,
isn't
yeah,
Redux,
that's what
it's,
I mean.
it's a new game, but yeah, that's
okay.
out. It's very good.
which is
BattleTech, isn't it?
something like that. But like, it's really interesting because they they had worked on a project before, which I'm a huge fan of. It was a project that CancerRat and I worked on in 1 year of university.
It
when
was.
we worked on Nomad.
I'd say it's about 6 months ago now because we just finished. We just did the same. It's been a year since we worked on Forlorn Hope.
Yeah.
And now so
Yeah, it's about half a year since
6
we
months.
worked on Nomad. And like, it was... Graphically, it's nothing special.
Gameplay wise, it wasn't.
It was
either, but
no. I'm on about Necropolis, so like the game Harebrained Software.
okay.
Yeah, so it wasn't anything special. The combat for it is fucking ridiculous. Like, take Dark Souls style of combat and make it as unforgiving as possible.
That's kind of impressive.
Yeah.
Like, it's like basically it takes. Like, it doesn't reward you with death. Like, basically, you know, where you learn to get better each time.
You will not be rewarded with death.
It's just a constant fuck you every time. I really like it because it's quite
You're a
fun.
glutton for punishment. I mean, I'm already starting on your feet.
I mean, I'm into
Yeah.
that kind of shit.
No,
like-
my feet are gone. I'm just a torso.
Yeah.
I'm into that kind of shit with like Stalker as well, because Stalker does that with the whole, if you die, there's no like reward for dying. If you die, you're reloading your save and wondering where the fuck that bullet came from.
Oh, you don't even get a reload. The
But
Necropolis.
those kind of games where they just fucking beat you.
bugs flying over already.
Oh god, have they found the cargo container?
I hope not. Hopefully they'll fly.
Last thing we need to do is go back to Korea.
If you don't breathe, they can't.
How do we know we were in Korea?
Because we were trying to escape from Todd.
We don't know that
Oh,
we don't
that's
know
how
That went really well, didn't it?
That's how we wound up here.
And
we're stuck in here with Todd.
Sometimes you can either hear him talk about when he used to be in the chess club.
Yeah.
I don't want to know.
Occasionally you just lie down in the dark and you just hear, it works, it just works. It kind of echoes
As you're
a
trying to
little
sleep.
bit. Yeah.
So,
Yes, I was in the chess club.
the point I was going to try and say is with, like, the way we're encouraged to play games, I actually went ahead and tried to run MechWarrior 4 in university on one of the computers and found it was missing some files.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, this fucking sucks. So I then went to the IT guys and was like, hey, could you install this thing for me? Oh, no, I can't do that. Well, it's already in Windows, it's just disabled. Okay, sure. The next day, I was literally sitting there playing MechWarrior 4 in the middle of a class.
I think.
I mean, I'd finished all the work that had been issued for that fucking class.
I think
was
it's
just waiting for time to be over.
I think you got to do it in moderation, really, because it's like there's the thing of like playing and taking notes, and that's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
Or there's sitting in the studio for
Yeah.
12 hours playing the
There's
same
that
game.
again. The guy who plays Fallout 76.
Oh, he played ESO the other day as well.
He plays ESO a lot as well. Comes into uni. He's already there at 9, and then
I think he just uses the machines for the hardware.
Oh no, he is.
He does.
He's exactly what he wants. He can't run it at home.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, no, exactly.
You're
so
a glorified internet cafe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for him.
Oh.
Anyway.
Well,
I love him so much.
I mean,
Well,
the
I'm
red light is starting to fade, so I'm not sure what's
No,
going
come
on.
back, my son.
I mean, the
Well,
red
I'm
light's-
nothing just but torso and... Is it... What's that? It smells like chocolate. Is he back again?
Oh god.
Oh, what's he gonna do?
Do not touch the dot.
The Big Bangs are controlling the world.
Is the homunculus gone?
I think so. I hate it when he comes over.
What is that thing?
I don't know.
Did Thunder just get hurt? Is he okay?
I'm okay.
Okay.
I'm not okay with that.